everyone, welcome back. So today is going to be a video where I'm going to be showing you just a few little makeup tips and tricks for us over 50 ladies. And what I've tried to do is insert products that are like a little bit higher end, but also drugstore, because I know a lot of you appreciate that it's a little bit of combination of both. So I always try and do that for you guys. So if you're curious to see what products I've used, and I'm also going to talk a little bit about some exciting things that happened to me this week. So if you're curious to see what those are, let's get into it. So today I'm gonna call it like a little bit of an updated video. I did a similar video, I'm gonna say early last year, where it was kind of like makeup tips and tricks and stuff like that. For a more youthful appearance. This one I thought I would do like an updated version. So there may be a few that are very similar to that. But there's just been a bunch of people asking me for like a makeup technique kind of video. So I thought I would throw that in here. So before we get started, I just, you probably saw kind of on my thumbnail that I put something about exciting news, and I have a few things that happened this week that I think are exciting to me, so I thought I would share them with you. I love sharing things with you guys because I think of you as my friends watching me here. So for a couple of little things, I was on holidays this week, so apologies to my fellow content creators. Sorry I have not had a chance to go and watch everybody's videos. You know I will get to you. I just was trying to take a little bit of time off this week and spending some time with my son. That was one of the nice things this week, is that we went back east to see him. And this was the first year in several years that we've been able to celebrate a Thanksgiving with him. Now, Canada, we have Thanksgiving early. We have it in October. I know in the US you guys have it in November, but ours is an early Thanksgiving. So I was just so happy that we could spend Thanksgiving with him. And so that's where I was, back east this week. The second thing that happened, which I am so thankful to each and every one of you. Gonna try not to get emotional here because it's a pretty big milestone for me anyhow. When I started this channel, like this is 2.5 years ago, I never thought that I would get to this milestone that I reached this week, which is 10,000 subscribers. And when I saw that, I just was like, oh my goodness, like I teared up as soon as I saw the number. And this has been such an accomplishment for me. YouTube is a really hard thing to do sometimes. I know it probably looks, when you guys are watching it, my viewers, you're probably watching it, it looks easy. There's just so much that goes on behind the scenes. I was happy when I got to 100 subscribers. I thought that was just a fantastic thing. So I had this goal in mind to get to 10,000. And I kind of set a goal for the end of the year. I really wanted to do it by the end of the year. And I'm so thankful for everybody that watches and leaves comments and just engages with me. And I appreciate you guys so much for watching, and just how much you appreciate my content from your comments. There's so many of you that have just left lovely comments about how much you appreciate what you're watching and everything. So I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. I have goals in mind now that I've reached that 10,000. I now have other goals in mind. So I just want to keep going. My next one, I want to get to 20K. So fingers crossed I can get there. And then the third thing that happened, and I'm sorry, this is going to be a little bit chatty. I'm letting you guys know right now, this will be a little bit chatty, but this was something really, really special that happened this week. On our flight back home, this was just on Thursday, I'm sitting on the aisle seat, and all of a sudden I just kind of felt a tap on my shoulder. This is about halfway through the flight, and I feel this tap on my shoulder, and I turned around, and it was the flight attendant, one of the flight attendants. And she said to me, sorry not to bother you, but do you have a YouTube channel? And I was totally stunned. I think stunned is really the only word that I can use. And I said, yes, actually I do. She goes, oh, I thought it was you. I could tell by your eyes, because you have to remember we're wearing a mask on the plane, right? So she said that she could tell by my eyes that she thought it was me, and that she is one of my viewers. And I was totally taken aback. I didn't actually know what to say. And it truly was just one of those things that I never would imagine would ever happen to me, that somebody would actually recognize me. As much as I know in the back of my mind, when you're on YouTube, you know that you're going out to the world. Anybody in the world can watch you. And for it to actually happen to you where somebody recognizes you, I don't know what to say. I was so flattered, and that I actually met a viewer, like like somebody that actually watches me. So I was so thrilled, and I believe her name was Carla. So Carla from Air Canada, I just want to say how absolutely thrilled and thankful I was that you came up to me, and you a heartfelt thank you, because you absolutely made my day. I was so surprised and so happy. She had some really lovely compliments. I'm not going to go into everything that she said, but she just had some really lovely compliments, and she was just such a super sweet soul, and very happy that I met her. And like I said, just one of those things that it's so wonderful to meet a viewer that actually watches my content. Just was very sweet. So thank you so much, Carla. I really appreciate it if you're watching. And you absolutely just, I'm going to say you just probably made my year, actually. So thank you so much. All right, so we're going to get started now in the actual video. So these are going to be little tricks, and some of the, like I said, some of this might be repetitive of what I've talked about before, but I think it was great to just put it all into one video. So if you want to reference what I've talked about, it's going to be just in one video. So I think one of the most important things is knowing your undertone. When I say undertone, I'm not talking about like your skin tone, because your skin tone like can change throughout the year. So say summertime, you may get a like 1 or 2 shades darker because of the sun. In the wintertime, you may go a little bit lighter because you're not maybe in the sun as much. But the important thing to remember is that your undertone will never change. So knowing your undertone is really super important when you are choosing your foundation or your concealers. And there's 3 different types. So there is a cool, a warm, or a neutral undertone. And there's a few ways that you can figure out what your undertone is. How do you react to the sun? If you get tanned really easily, then you are more of a warm undertone. And if you tend to burn more easily, you will probably generally be more of a cool undertone. This is how I kind of figured out how my undertone, what my undertone was. If I burn in the sun, but it will actually turn into a tan, you'll have more of a neutral undertone. The next thing would be jewelry. How does jewelry look on you? If you tend to look really good in gold, then you're most likely a warm undertone. Or if silver looks really good on you, then you're more of a cool undertone. Or if you look good in both, then you're going to be a neutral undertone. And one of the ways that I really tried to figure out several years ago when I was trying to look for a foundation, I was trying to really figure out what my undertone was, is looking at your veins. I sometimes will have like more of a blue, like a blue vein on my back of my hands, but then on like my wrist and stuff, I can have more like a green tinge to my veins. And that's when I figured out I had more of a new, I always thought for a long time I was more cool. But then when I started looking at my actual veins and saw like this one right here, it's more like of a green color. Then I figured out, okay, I'm more of a neutral undertone. Because if you have like blue, if you can see your veins that are blue, that's cool. And if your veins appear more on the green side, then that's a warm undertone. And so for me to have a mix of both of them, then I knew I was neutral. So once you have figured out your undertones, we're going to move on to now tip number 2. We're going to figure out now what colors complement your natural coloring. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick up a color wheel, and people that have like warm undertones generally look good in gold, reds, yellows, and nice warm, like warm browns. And then people with cool undertones look really nice in like silver, icy blues, purples, pinks. And then people with neutral undertones pretty much look good in anything. If you notice that you look good in, there's not like one particular color that stands out for you, then you are probably in the neutral category. And then don't forget also like your eyes and your hair color, that all plays into what looks good, what colors look good on you. Now my third tip is going to be skincare, and always making sure that your skin is prepped and ready for the makeup. Because if your skin looks good, your makeup is just going to look great. And just making sure that your skin, especially as we get older, is very hydrated. I think that just makes your skin look more youthful and your skin looks like plump. So you'll see in most of my videos, I always moisturize. I always have like eye cream, and then I always use primer. Those are my three things that I always do. So I'll just quickly show you my two products that I absolutely love for moisturizing. One of them is my holy grail, the Aveeno Positively Radiant Daily Moisturizer. I have this one in the SPF 15, but I believe there's like a 30 as well. And then my Garnier, the Clearly Brighter Even Tone Daily Moisturizer. This one is a 30. So I wear this one a lot in the summertime. I actually took it with me back east when we went, just because I like the container. It's small and travelable. This one I love in the wintertime. But these are my two absolute favorite lotions. And it doesn't matter how many eye creams I try, I always come back to this one. And it is the Visibly Different Moisturizing Eye Cream by Elizabeth Arden. You can kind of see it's been well used. And I need pretty much another one. I am getting right down to the nitty gritty on this one. But this is one of the best eye creams, honestly, I can say that I've ever tried. The hydration under my eye is so different than what it used to be even like months ago. I started using this, I think this was, I'm gonna say early summer, like late spring, early summer. And before that, my under eyes would always have like a dryness to them. Whenever I would put concealer on, it would just settle all into my fine lines. And with this, I don't have that issue. This is the most hydrating eye cream I've ever had. Yes, it is a little bit on the pricey side, I'm not gonna lie, but I think it is well worth the price. That's just my honest opinion. I honestly think that this is well worth the price. So best eye cream. Now I have a couple of different products that I'm going to talk about for primer. So today I use the e.l.f. the Poreless Putty Primer. I like to fill in all of these bigger pores that I have right in my nose, like around my T-zone, and then also down on my chin area. Those are my biggest pores. So I take a little bit of the putty, and that's all it is. It is just like a putty. And I very gently like rub it into my face, and then I kind of press it in and let that product sit. And it really does help blur all of these pores. Like when I look in a mirror right now, like right in here, all of those pores, they're blurred. Like they literally are, it's like I have no pores in that area right there. So this is I love that. I love that. It's one of those iconic products that so many people I think have tried. So I highly recommend that one. I find it also helps fill in those like fine lines. I put it right down here, like in my smile lines right here. And it really helps my makeup stay on longer. You've heard me say that before, but it really is true. It helps my makeup stay on way longer throughout the day. So then what I wanted to do today is use I use it as a primer. Other people may use it as a highlighter. But it's the Charlotte Tilbury, the Flawless Filter. And I know this is one of those iconic products. I have this one in the shade number 3. Now, if the price is a little scary for you, because it can be a little bit pricey, they have made a smaller version, but really for the amount that I use, because I don't use this like all over my face, I put it, so if I put that primer on, then I'm going to use this, and I use it kind of on my forehead and just on my cheek area, on the top of my nose. I kind of fill it in with this product, and it just gives me a beautiful, healthy glow. Helps with my makeup staying on longer throughout the day. So highly recommend the Charlotte Tilbury. Love that product. So like I said, very, very important to prep your skin. I think that should be like almost like the number one step, is making sure that your skin is just well prepared for the makeup application. Now we're going to move on to number 4, and that is foundation. There are so many different types of foundation. One of my personal favorites are really lightweight foundations. Ones that like are almost like a second skin on you. There's one that I want to try, and I'll put a picture up here of it, because I think it's one of the better ones, and I just need to try and find it. I think it's Tati, it's one of her favorite foundations. It's the Catrice, the True Skin Foundation. But to get onto some of these other ones, foundation, I think, is one of those important ones where you don't even have to do like a full face of foundation. If you do like little spot treatments here and there, if you don't feel like wearing a full face of foundation, and then just covering up any little like if you have skin tone issues, if you have like, I have hyperpigmentation on my face, and I'll kind of go through that in a minute with some of the products that I use to cover that up. But I much prefer more of a like a liquid or a cream product on my face rather than, I'm not a big powder foundation person. I have two that I use, but again, I always will gravitate more to liquid foundations. So one of the most important things is, I think, just how you apply the foundation. And I'll put a little clip up here of me using it, but I always start in the center of my face. So I put it on, like I kind of put dabs on my cheeks and my forehead and everything. And then I always take my brush. My favorite brush is actually the BK Beauty 101 foundation brush. You guys have heard me talk about this so many times, but I really truly think that it is one of the best foundation brushes. I've used quite a few of them, and there's just something about this brush that applies the product so nicely on your face. It doesn't leave it streaky. It doesn't absorb a bunch of product. The bristles are so soft, and I truly believe that this is one of the best brushes. But you'll see I always start in the center of my face, work the product out to the outer edges of my face. And I like the ones that you can build up. So if you wanted to have a little bit more of a heavier coverage that day, the ones that are buildable are really nice, especially if you just want to build up in a certain area, maybe not all over your face, but you can build it up. Say you want it a little bit more on your nose or on your cheeks. Those products are best, I think. And like I said, the light ones are, the ones that I've chosen here are, they just have a nice radiance to them, and you can still look a little bit dewy. If you're one of those people that has dry skin, I think just using a product that has a little bit of dewiness really highlights your face. And I especially like the ones that are plumping and have hyaluronic acid in them, because that's just going to make your skin look incredible. The hyaluronic acid is just so hydrating for your skin. And then what I do is, once I've blended it all in with the brush, I go in with my sponge and I just kind of blend in any areas that maybe there's a little bit more heavier, that sort of thing. And then it just helps soften like the edges around your face. I do that all the time. So a couple of the brands that I'm going to show you, these are some of the ones that I really enjoy using, and they all have a similar base to them, but at the same time they're all different. So the one I'm using on my face today is the IT Your Skin But Better Foundation and Skincare. I've had it on my channel numerous times. This is the one I'm wearing today because I hadn't used it for so long. I was like, man, I haven't used that in it seems like forever. So I wanted to use it on my channel today. But this one and the other one that is more of a higher end is the Fenty Beauty. Again, you've seen this on my channel tons of times. It's the Easy Drop Blurring Skin Tint. So again, love this one. Same thing, it is very skin-like. It blends in like a dream. Never looks cakey on my face, never looks dry on my face, and it just makes my skin look really hydrated looking. So if you're looking for more like higher end, these two products I highly recommend. And then drugstore, I will say drugstore is absolutely killing it. They have so many products right now that are what I'm looking for. Hyaluronic acid in it. Some of them have vitamin C in them. So I have the L'Oreal The Age Perfect Radiant Serum Foundation. Love this one. Very nice coverage. Makes my skin look really hydrated. It is specifically for more mature skin. That is this whole Age Perfect line. And what I will do is down in the description box below, if you haven't checked out this video, go ahead and check it out. I did a whole review on the Age Perfect line. I think they have such great products. They've since come out with a few other products. One of them was a primer, so I've used that on my channel before, and another product here, which I'll show you in a minute. The other one that is really, really nice on the skin, this one again has nice coverage. A lot of people like it. It's the Essence Pretty Natural Hydrating Foundation. It has hyaluronic acid in it and aloe vera. Very calming on the skin. So it just comes like as a little squeeze tube and just sinks into the skin really nicely. It has a really creamy texture to it, And I like this one when I'm blending it out with the brush because it does give me some nice coverage and just kind of evens out my skin tone. Another one that I've had on my channel a few times is the CoverGirl Plus Olay Simply Ageless. It's the 3-in-1 foundation. And this one also hyaluronic acid and vitamin C in it. This one is fantastic. I like it. Very hydrating. It's very thick. It is more of a thicker consistency. You can really build this one up. But a nice creamy texture, and it really helps, I think, having that Olay product in it as well. Then a couple of more products. I did a whole review actually on this one product, and it's the L'Oreal The True Match Super Blendable Foundation. Now, I'm not sure, there was issues when I first had my review on this one, that there was a bunch of people in the States that you said you couldn't get this one yet. So I'm not sure if you can yet. I know a bunch of you are using this is the replacement for the bottle, but this one I really like. Again, hyaluronic acid in it, just makes my skin look glowy and hydrated. It's quite dirty, so this was the one I actually took back east with me on vacation. I love it that much. So it is, I'm gonna say a little bit creamy, and but very soft on the skin, and it does great absorbing into the skin. This is one of those products that I throw it on and I can run out the door, and it just looks fantastic for the whole day. And then this one I've gone on and on about, so I won't go on about it too much here, but it's the L'Oreal The True Match The Nude Hyaluronic Tinted Serum. This is like my favorite product. Love this product. And again, it has 1% hyaluronic acid in it. Any of those products are just going to plump your skin and retain that moisture, and that's what I'm looking for in a product. I don't want anything that's matte. Anything matte is just going to make my skin look so dry, and I will not use any sort of matte products. And then a suggestion, if you don't want to put any foundation on your face, actually, is using a concealer and just doing some little spot treatments like I was saying to you before. So I used, like today, I used the Lancome, the Tint Idel, the Ultra Wear All Over concealer, and that's why they call it all over concealer, because you can use this one and just use it to do a little bit of concealing here and there. So I did use it right on my hyperpigmentation today, and it does such a fantastic job with that. It really does cover it up. I can just see like a little hint of it poking through. So this does a fantastic job in that. And you can just use that, you know, if you wanted to just kind of conceal where maybe there's a little bit of redness. I always get, you know, a little bit of redness kind of around my nose area. But this just does such a great job in doing that. So this is one of those products that's very versatile. You can just use it all over your face. So those are my recommendations if you're looking for a really nice, lightweight foundation that blends in really easily, doesn't look like you're wearing a mask. Basically, it looks almost skin-like. Okay, so now my number 5 recommendation or makeup tip is when you use powder, so either use it very sparingly or don't use it at all. So today I did not use any powder on my face at all. I've been doing that quite a bit lately where I just don't need it, or I find it just looks fine without it. I have a hydrated, dewy kind of look, and I like that. So I've been really skipping on the powder. But if you do prefer using a powder, there's a few that I would recommend. One of them is just kind of, or one of the recommendations I have is staying away from ones with talc. And I know that's hard because most setting powders do have talc in it. And the only reason I say to kind of stay away from the talc is it absorbs moisture and can make the skin look kind of, I don't know, like flat, or just not dewy looking. So if you're going to use a powder, either stick to like using it in your T-zone, where that's where I will put it sometimes, is just kind of in my T-zone, where by the end of the day I may get a little bit of oiliness in here. Like not even today, I didn't even set my eyes with powder today. But the one I will recommend, because it has no talc in it, is the Tatcha the Silk Powder. So this one is really, really nice. I do like this one. It just comes out like a really finely milled powder. It just has like a really like a radiant finish to it. It does, I find it does kind of help blur some of my pores. So that would be more of a, like the obviously a higher end powder. And then the one powder that I don't have, that is one of the few drugstore ones that I know are talc free, and I'll put a picture of it, is the Physicians Formula. And I believe it's called the Physicians Formula Mineral Free Talc Powder. Think I'd have to, like I said, I'll put a picture of here of it, but that's the only drugstore one that I know of that is talc free. I mean, it's fine to, I have so many powders that I use that they do have talc in them. You can't help it. That's just how they make the powders. I think of just using it really either really lightly. Like I said, I usually just put it on my nose and kind of call it a day. If I am going to set under my eyes, I have a really good one that's CoverGirl. I've had that one on my channel lots before. But those are my picks for powders, and just kind of using them really strategically of where you're putting them so you don't look all dry. Okay, so my tip number 6 is, I guess I would call it kind of balancing out your features. And by that I mean, if you are going to wear a bold lip, then going with like more of a neutral eye, and then vice versa. So if you want to do like a really dramatic smoky eye, then sticking to more of like a neutral kind of lip. And I think that just helps balance all your features out. And you'll see that's kind of what I did today. I did more of a more neutral look on my eyes, and then I used more of a brighter pink color on my lips. I was thinking about doing red, but I thought, no, I'll just do like more of a, this kind of gives me maybe a little bit of a fall vibe. I'll show you which one I used in a minute, but I just wanted to do something more neutral, and you'll very seldom see me do like a really bold eye and like a bold lip. I think you just need to have a little bit of neutral in your face. So that would be just my suggestion for tip number 6. And then to go along with what I had just said is, I think number 7, simplifying your eye look. As we age, I think just having a really neutral eye looks very flattering. I try to be very strategic on what products that I use, because I am developing that crepiness on my eyelids, and I find anytime I put sort of any shimmer or anything like that, you'll never see me putting shimmer kind of like in my crease, because that just accentuates all those lines in my eyes. So I've really started to use cream products, and that goes for like blushes and bronzers and that sort of thing. I try and use cream products. But I did finally find a cream eyeshadow that I am really, really liking, and I have it on today. So that's what it looks like on my eye. And it is the L'Oreal Age Perfect Cream Eyeshadow. And I have this one in the shade, this is 02 Opal Pink. I like how it doesn't age my eyes, because again, it's that whole, this is that other product I was saying to you about, that they didn't have this out yet when I was making my video. And it just kind of looks like that. It's a really, really creamy formula, like extremely creamy. Like, look at how beautiful that looks on the back of my hand. Isn't that just gorgeous? So I think this is just like one of those one and done eyeshadows. I took it on my finger and I just placed it all over my lid, all up into here, up into my brow bone. I think it just did such a fantastic job. And again, it's not, you know, super expensive. And this is going to last like a long time. Just your eyes look maybe a little bit more youthful. Doesn't accentuate your eye or your eye wrinkles. And I think just having like a really strong eye look can almost make your eyes look a bit heavy. And I think more of the neutral shades looks more natural. And I like how it doesn't settle into my fine lines. It hasn't creased. Like the few times that I've worn it, it looks fantastic. I did use an eye primer today. I think that's really important as well, is using if you're using primer on your face, go ahead and use the primer on your eyelids as well. But this was just so emollient and creamy, and I think it just did a fantastic job. And I'm not one of those people that wears like a big, thick, like heavy eye look. I used to many years ago, I would wear black eyeliner, you know, under my eyes here, and I would have my whole lid done with my black eyeliner and more of like a thick line. And then as I've aged, I've really adapted to going like more of a thinner. I do still it's very rare for me not to have any sort of eyeliner on the top of my lid. I need something up there. And so I just take a really thin line and I stay really close to my lashes and just make a tiny little line. And I usually take eyeshadow and put that, I run the eyeshadow underneath my eye. I very seldom will use like actual eyeliner underneath my eye. I think the powder just kind of gives it a more softer appearance. And then if you're also looking for like more of a cream formula, I have this Bobbi Brown Long Wear Cream shadow stick. So this is really nice as well. This is just like a little sample size, but again, very, very soft. And the color payoff, I mean, look at how beautiful that is. Is this one right there? It's just gorgeous. Moving on to tip number 8 is I think it's really important to put some sort of conditioning treatment on your lashes, on your eyebrows. I find, and I'm sure a lot of you find that as well, like over the years now, the past several years, my and I've talked about it before, my eyelashes definitely have become thinner, more brittle. My eyebrows, again, same thing. I'm losing right here the hairs on the tail end of my eyebrows. Using a product that's going to help with any sort of growth and just conditioning the lash. One of the products I've been using is the Lancome, the Cils Booster XL. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it really does help. I've used it today. It really does help give your lashes just a little bit of a fullness, and my lashes don't feel as dry when I use this. So it looks kind of odd. It looks like that. And what you do is you put it on like mascara. With this one in particular, I don't let it dry before I start applying my mascara. So I put this on and then I right away put my mascara on, and I find that way it doesn't get all clumpy. Now, a good drugstore version of this, which I know a lot of people use and I want to get that one myself, I believe it's the L'Oreal volumizing one. I'll put a picture again up here of that one. I want to try that one because it's much more affordable than the Lancome, and it's supposed to be just as good. I think that's really important to just kind of give your lashes that conditioning, and so they're not so brittle. And then an actual lash treatment that I've been using. And the thing about lash treatments is you have to be very consistent or they're just not going to work. So this one in particular that I have is the Rapid Lash XL. Now, I believe there's one called Revitalash. I haven't used that one. That one is supposed to be really, really expensive, so I haven't used that one. This one is actually doing not a bad job. It comes with a nice little applicator. So what I do is I take this at night. So I only use this before I go to bed, so it has time to work. And I think it actually says it on the packaging to use it before you go to bed. So I take this and I run it after all of my makeup is on, all of my, like I've cleansed my face, everything's off, all the makeup's off. I take the little wand and on the top of my eyelashes, I gently run it along the lash line. And I will also take a little bit of it and do my little tail area here with my hairs. And I think it really has helped with getting a little bit of hairs here. And for my eyelashes are definitely longer. There is a few here which are, I don't know if I can see them in the mirror here. This one in particular right here keeps growing longer than the other lashes. I don't know what it's doing, but my lashes definitely are longer. I'm not going to say, I don't know if they're necessarily more volumized, like fullness. There's a little bit more fullness there than there used to be. Like when I actually look in the mirror in the morning and I'm looking at my face, and there is definitely a little bit more fullness. I thought there would be more, but I don't know if it's the actual product or if I should be trying something else. But so far, I think this one has been doing a nice job. Like it says that people start seeing it a little bit after 4 weeks. I've been using this now. Well, it's been several months, but there was a couple of times there where I forgot to use it at night. Just I was tired getting ready for bed and I forgot to put it on. But the one thing about, like I said, one thing about these serums is you have to be consistent and using them every night, and that's where you're going to see the results. So I think that's really important to try, and if you do have lashes that you're just, it's starting to bug you, with them being just like not as full, or I'm losing them here and there, being a little bit more sparse, just investing in a serum I think would be a benefit. So my tip number 9 is, I think it's really important not to skip the one step of using blush on your face. That's fine if you don't want to use bronzer, you don't want to use highlighter. I think using a blush just really perks your face up. And where you place it on your face, I think also makes a big difference. You've seen probably a ton of times on my makeup tutorials. I always place my blush high up on my cheekbone, and I usually put it right back into my hairline. I will never bring it down into the apples of my cheeks, because as we get older, everything kind of starts drooping, right? I think placing it on the apples of your cheeks, because now when you smile, that's where that blush is going to be. So I think to try and give yourself that lifting appearance is really important to put the blush. I basically place it from about here up, and it just kind of in this area right here. A couple that I'll show you. One again is a higher end one, and I had this one, I think it was on my end of year last year, like my end of year, one of my favorites. It's the Patrick Ta blush. I have this one in the shade She's That Girl. The reason I picked this one up was I liked how it is a cream but also a powder, and his products are so awesome. So that is the powder right there, and then the cream has just like a little flap to keep it covered. But I really, really like this one. I love the shade. I think that more peachy tones look very flattering on more mature skin. I mean, really on anybody's skin. I just think those peach tones really suit anybody. So I really, really like his formulation. Really goes on nicely on the skin. And then the one I'm wearing on my face today is Milani. This is the Luminoso Baked Powder Blush. Again, another nice peach tone. Love that color. And then what I usually do is take just like a eyeshadow brush. Just take a little bit of blush. I put it right in the crease area, and I think it just kind of helps tie everything together. So your cheeks, everything kind of looks blended and put together. So just a little trick for you. All right, last but not least is tip number 10, and that is the lips, filling in your lips. Now, I've shown lots of times on my channel where I use my lip liner. I kind of slightly overdraw my lips to just kind of give it a little bit more fullness. And there's days where I'll just use lip liner and a gloss, and I'll go about my day like that. Other times I use lipsticks. I love liquid lipsticks. I realize that there's not a lot of people that like liquid lipsticks. I don't like the really drying ones. I stay away from those because it just makes my lips look awful. But there is some really super hydrating liquid lips that I think some people would enjoy. I've had them on my channel lots of times. Now, the first thing that I will say is to try and give your lips a little bit of fullness. This is one of my favorite products. I think this is like a little magic potion in a tube, but it's the Buxom Plump Shot. And I had it on my channel where I actually showed you before and after pictures. I'll try and find that picture if I can, and I'll insert it up here for you. But it does show that it did give my lips a little bit extra plumpness. So before I start doing my makeup, I throw this on. And by the end of, by the time I'm done my makeup and I go to put my lipstick and stuff on, they just have a little bit more plumpness to them. So I think this is just a fantastic product. It fills in all of those like little fine lines that I may have around my mouth. So really enjoy that. And then the product that I use today as a lip liner is the Bare Minerals. This is the Gen Nude in the shade Borderline, but it's just a nice nude shade. Because if you're like me, I mean, over the years, my lips are definitely getting a little bit thinner. And that, again, can't help it. That's just age. And I think using like a neutral toned lip liner really does help create like an illusion of fuller lips. And if you don't want to spend the money on that, my tried and true is the NYX. This is just a retractable lip liner in nude. One of my favorites. This is my holy grail. Again, it's just one of those ones that you can just throw on your lip and throw some lip gloss on, and you can get out the door. But that one's just so much more affordable. The lipstick I'm wearing today is actually the Maybelline, this is 376 Pink for Me. It has like a satin finish to it. I think that matte lipsticks, I don't very often wear like a matte lipstick. I think they just can look really drying on my lips. For sure, if I ever do wear one, I make sure to wear a lip gloss on it. But this one is very like satiny. Maybelline, I think, has one of the like some of the best lipsticks. And then a couple of lip glosses that this one I'm wearing actually today. But it's, you know, not as affordable as the other one I'm going to show you. This is the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea H2O Gloss. This one I have it called Sandy Toes. I love the name of it, and I love the color. It has like a peachy kind of color to it. But again, it's just very moisturizing on the lips. What I do is I put it, just like I did here, on the center of my lips. And I think that just gives the illusion again of some of the lips looking a little bit more plumper. Then if you want more of an affordable brand, I have the Essence, the Shine 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 Wet Look Lip Gloss. One of my favorites. I had that on my channel several times. Just comes like as a nice little wand. And this will look like literally glass on your lips. It is one of the best lip glosses. I have like, I mean, there is so many. I love my Maybelline Lifter glosses. I love the Fenty Glass Bomb. All of those are great. But these ones, I haven't shown these on my channel a lot, so I wanted to kind of bring those out. Anything that's kind of give your lips the appearance of looking more full, I think is just a benefit, and definitely doesn't look, you know, my lips just don't look as thin as they usually do. That is it. That is my top 10 makeup tips for mature women. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments below whether you have tried any of these products and if you agree that they're good for mature skin. I always like to hear from you guys. I just want to thank you all so much for stopping by. And if you haven't subscribed, I hope you consider subscribing to my channel. And make sure to hit that notification bell, and that way you're notified whenever I upload new videos. And make sure to share this video with anybody that you feel would enjoy these type of products. And don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. That also helps my channel out a lot and helps it grow. And you can always follow me over on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. I have all of those. Those are always down in the description box, as well as I will have everything linked and listed below of what I talked about today. And just once more, I just want to say thank you so much for every single one of you. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for helping me get to my goal. Who knows where this is going to take me. So I'm super excited. And as always, I hope everybody has a great week and a great life, and I will see you all very soon in my next video. Bye.